Welcome, viewers, to our second episode of Chronicles of the Immigrants. This is the place whereby we learn about courage, determination, leap of hope, and all that. People who have left their familiar places and they have moved halfway around the globe to start a new life in a new country. Various challenges are faced, which are unique to each individual, but at the end of it all, we come to learn that with determination, you can make it. And today we have a special guest who is very familiar with me, who's been a friend of mine for some time here in Edmonton. He came to Canada to visit, and then things changed very rapidly, and he was disconnected with his family for quite a long time. We are going to learn the challenges and the anxieties of being in a new land where you cannot meet your family regularly, how he started life in a new country, the achievements and challenges that he faced, how he overcame all these challenges, and how he has settled in this place that he now calls home. So, without further ado, let me introduce our guest for the show today, Mr. Kefa Mireri. So, Kefa, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Kefa, we'll start by asking you to introduce yourself to our audience. So, looking at the camera, please tell us who you are, when you came here, what year you came here, and then we'll pick it from there.
Thank you. Good morning, good evening, viewers. My name, as you heard, is Kefa Mireri. Kefa Mireri, I'm from Kenya and I happen to live here in Edmonton currently. Probably I may start, I came from Kenya in the year 2006, having stayed there for quite a while in Kenya. I was born and raised in Kenya, if I might take you back there. In Kenya, I was there as a teacher. I taught in high school for almost 12 years before this opportunity came by. I can call it an opportunity because I came here to attend a seminar. It was a conference. So I had that opportunity to come. That was 2006. So by November 2006, I landed in Edmonton. And lucky enough, I didn't know where I was going as any other new person in Canada here, in a foreign land. When I arrived, I didn't know my friend Jeremiah and his family were in Edmonton here. I didn't know at all. But I was told by a friend who lived in Toronto that now I've engaged somebody, maybe he can help you there in Edmonton airport. I didn't know who that person was, but then Jeremiah and his wife, and they had a small child by then, they came and we met at the airport.
That's great.
Thank you. And
So-
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bwana Kefa. So it's quite interesting. When we were discussing off camera, as we've done before, you have come to Canada, you have landed at the airport, and then you want to find your way into the city where the seminar was supposed to be held, and you phone your friend, and you didn't know how big Canada was by then. You phone your friend and you tell him, "Oh, I have landed in Edmonton." Then he tells you, "Okay, where you are right now, it's about 3 hours flight." How did you feel when you learned that the only person you knew by then in Canada was 3 hours flight away from where you were standing?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyway, um, after arriving at the airport, as I have mentioned before, I didn't know where I was. I knew actually I was in Edmonton, but I thought my friend was also living within Edmonton.
Yeah, like maybe in 1 hour, 30 minutes,
Correct.
he'll be there to pick you up.
even less than an hour actually. I thought it's like where I used to be, like in
Okay.
my country. My country is that's the size of Alberta.
Alberta. Yeah.
So I thought maybe my friend should be maybe around another town which is outside of Edmonton.
Hmm.
So I thought, okay, my friend will come and pick me up. But when I called him, he said, no, I'm like almost 3 to 4 hours away in Toronto. So I was, oh man, how can I now get out of here? I'm in a mess. I'm supposed to go for a conference. I'm supposed to attend the following morning, actually, it was to start. But here I am. I don't know anybody here now. So how can I get my way out? That's when he told me, okay, wait a minute. There is somebody who can come and help you from the airport, give you a ride to where you are going. That's when Jeremiah, you came in, and your wife, your family, and I say thank you for that gesture.
And actually, if I can relive that particular day, I got the call from Elijah, and the message was not really in the words that he used. It was in the tone. He said, "Okay, Moseti. Moseti is the name I'm used to, that
Yeah.
I'm called back in Kenya, and
Yes.
not Jeremiah as I'm called here in Kenya. Moseti, Kefa is at the airport. Go pick him." It came as a command. And I was like, we joke. And I was like, Elijah, what are you talking about? Kefa at the
Mhm.
airport, what is he doing here? "No, Kefa is at the airport. Go and pick him." And the tone was like, no
Wow.
room for discussion. And I obliged. And by the way, I was so glad that I was getting my high school and college mate to visit us, at least even if it's for 3 days. But man, is it 15 years down the line? We
Yes.
are still
We
together.
are still
So,
together. We're still here.
well, let's go back. You came for the conference, and after attending the conference, things changed so fast. And you did share with me that the way things have changed, it's not safe to travel back to Kenya. What did you feel like when you knew that you are out here? Probably I saw you came with a small bag,
Yes.
and you don't have anything. It's just that small bag, and you are not going back to your family. What did you feel like?
Well, oh boy, when I remember that time, I was just in the dark.
Mhm.
Uh, when I was told, okay, let me take it this way. After going to the conference, going to attend the conference, then things changed so quick. I was told now, um, by back home, things changed. Whatever was happening there,
Mm,
that time is when we were almost going to have elections the following year. We were going to have other things. So
mm.
the country
There's a lot
was
of
a
tension in
lot
the
of
country,
tension. Exactly.
and you burned your fingers by getting into advocacy.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I was an advocate for that, for human rights and all that. So when I was told I cannot go back, I got shocked. My family's back there. I have little children
Mm,
by then. My youngest was, I think, 4 years old. Yes. So I was like, how can I be far away from my family?
mhm.
I've never been like that.
Yeah.
What? So anyway, in short, I went to the immigration office. They told me, okay, I asked for
Protection status.
protection status.
Yeah.
So they gave me that quickly. They understood me. They understood my case. And then now the tough time came when I could figure out that I will never go back to my country to see my family.
Mm,
That when you are given such a status, protection status, uh, viewers, it is very true that you cannot go, you can't travel. It means
mm.
you are under protection, under the crown. So if you travel back to your country, then you will face the problems there. In any case, you can't travel because you don't have the documents.
Yeah.
So they keep the documents for you, so you are protected for sure. So uh, From there, I was like, now, what next? What can I do? How can my family survive, especially my family? That is where the problem was. That's where I really had it rough.
Yeah, you like you had come for maybe 3 4 days,
Yes.
and you probably took maybe a week off from duty, and now here you are. You have been restricted from traveling, which meant effectively you had lost your job in Kenya, and then you are under protection, you cannot travel, and all that, lots of anxiety. But
Hmm.
for the viewers who are looking at this show, who are watching this show, this thing that we call protection status, when your life is in danger or you feel that you are not safe, the government gives you temporary protection status while they're investigating whether your life is really in danger, so that you can be allowed to stay here in Canada. So during this transition period, it's filled with a lot of uncertainty, as our host has said. You don't know whether you're going to stay, and during this time, probably your uh, livelihood or your salary, your business or something has collapsed. That one can be a time of big anxiety. But as our host is going to tell us, there are few things that you need to have. We call them shock absorbers. So listen carefully. He's going to highlight some of these shock absorbers that you need to have during this time when you have just landed. You have not been given the right to stay in Canada. You don't know whether you're going to be removed back to your country or you're going to be allowed to stay. So,
Mhm.
Kefa, tell us more about how long did it take for you before you were allowed to stay now in Canada, and your family was allowed to come and join you?
Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much for
how
that
long did
question.
it take you? What was the process and or the situation? What was it like?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
before I even applied for my family, before I applied when I landed, first of all, as you rightfully said, I was given protection status. So the protection status, as you explained it, you have to stay, you can't travel, you can't do anything, you can't work until you are given a work permit. So when I landed and they gave me protection status, I had nowhere to sleep. I didn't have a house. I didn't have an apartment. So number one, I went to to the shelter.
Shelter.
That's where they took me. And I was grateful for the Canadian government for the shelter, by the way, because I could not have gone anywhere to sleep. My friend had only one room for his child. They were sleeping there. So I went to the shelter. I stayed there for, I think, was it a month or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
If I can remember,
Mm.
it has been a while since I
Yeah.
was there. So from there, they were processing. They accepted that they can protect me, yes. And then it took me like, then the work permit came,
Mm-hmm.
and I started working at least. When I got a work permit, I started working. I could send my family some little money now, at least. I could get an apartment on my own, at least after that. Then they told me after that, was it after 1 year? One and a half years. Then they accepted my claim. They said, now you have been allowed to stay in Canada. You have been given a permanent residency. You are here as a permanent resident, and you can apply for your family to join you. I was really happy. That was the happiest moment I had here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
The first time when I was told like that, I was like,
So you felt like you had arrived after 1 year.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, uh, let's
Mhm,
go back a little bit.
mhm.
Uh, you went to the government place,
Yes.
and there's a certain way that you are handled, which is you found quite different from your country of initial heritage. How did the government facilitate? Because you usually you're allowed to have legal representation. It's a
Mhm.
right.
Yes, yes.
How did you manage? for the sake of the viewers, how did you manage to get legal representation? Was it you worked to raise the fee for that, or you got some assistance? What programs are in place for somebody who comes and he has to find uh, like to claim for protected status,
Mhm.
and he doesn't even know what kind of paperwork to fill, how to go about it? How did you navigate
Yes.
your way through that?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Actually, maybe I jumped that part when I was explaining that I got permanent residence. Okay. When I was at the shelter, from there, the shelter, they give you, the shelter has an address.
And the shelter is not like the shed that we have back in Kenya.
No,
It's a house where people stay.
people live there.
Yeah.
People, all kinds of people, they stay there. Those who
Mhm.
don't have
It's a
actual
hall of
this,
residence.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a whole of residence. Like back home, those people come from Africa or elsewhere. We have dormitories where people live, and wherever they can come there during the day, they are given food, lunch, supper, and that's it. So um, when I was there in the shelter, I was given by the government, I was given a legal representation
Mhm.
by a legal aid.
Yeah.
Actually, they told me now you have a whole lot of these, like 5 or 6 lawyers
Mm.
or baristas, whichever they call them. So they told me you can choose from all these baristas.
Okay. So the government finds a list of lawyers
Yes,
whom they pay for so
yes,
that they can represent you.
correct.
It's not like you have to sell your land to get a lawyer.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no.
Yeah.
And the lawyers, actually, the government is so good, and the lawyers are so nice that he takes your case from there. You just go to his office, he can call you, I'm available this time and this time, you can come to my office, and then we talk about your case. So I got a very nice lawyer. I don't know whether he's still practicing, Mr. Simon Yu. I
Mhm.
remember his name up to
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
a quite a was a quite big name in
yes,
immigration cases. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was an immigration lawyer, very nice lawyer. He handled, I was really not knowing what will happen to me, whether I will be taken back home or I will stay here. But he told me, just calm down. Don't worry, we are going step by step. Your case as it comes, the way it is, that's how we shall handle it. So from there, uh, he took up my case,
Mm.
and I didn't pay him a penny. The government had to pay those days. I don't know nowadays how it is, but that time the government was to pay for the legal aid. So, Mr. Simon, it came to a time 2008, I think. That's when we went for a hearing with
Mhm.
him. So at the hearing, I was there with the judge and Simon Yu. So it all happened that they accepted my case straight away
Mm.
because uh, it was what can I say? The case
It was
was,
valid.
yeah, it was a valid case.
Yeah.
After coming here to
Mm.
attend a conference, and then I could not travel back home,
Mm.
and the things changed so fast, so that I couldn't really go back. So the Simon, you really executed that case very well, and me, of course, the judge was asking questions, and everything went well. I was
Hmm.
granted permanent residence.
Yeah.
I was told, welcome to Canada. I was so happy. That, as I
Mm.
mentioned earlier, I was really delighted about
Yeah.
that.
So, Mr. Kefa, for
Mm.
the sake of the audience,
Yes, please.
what is this thing that is called permanent residency? What benefits does it offer you when you came? You came and you were granted. You were told now you are a permanent resident. How did your status change? What were you entitled to, which you were not entitled to before you became a permanent resident?
Thank you for that question. Permanent residency, when you are granted permanent residency, it means you are on your path to becoming a citizen. You are a Canadian resident.
Mhm.
You are now, you can go to school if you want at that stage.
Mhm.
It's like a green card in other
Mhm.
jurisdictions.
Like you are a Canadian, except I think
Yes,
one. You cannot serve in the army and you cannot vote.
those days. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
now
it's.
they
I
can
think it's
serve in
still
the
it's
army.
still the
I don't.
same. So anything that a Canadian citizen can enjoy as a permanent resident, you can enjoy it. Free medical care,
Mhm.
whatever. You're free to travel anywhere in Canada. You can also travel outside the country, except the places where your life is
It's
in
in danger.
danger. So,
Yes.
like for Keva, he could not travel back to Kenya until the situation was good for him,
Yes.
and perhaps that's why your family was given like expedited entry so that you can be united with your family and
Correct.
become one.
Correct. In fact,
Yeah,
they.
so
Mhm.
that is what a permanent residency means. Now let's go to this situation. Leaving your country where you are familiar, then you come to a totally different place. There are those things that shock you, like culture. We call it cultural
Culture.
shock.
Mhm.
It could be a good shock or it could be a bad shock. What are some of the shocks that you experienced when you came to Canada?
Okay, when I came to Canada, I was a very good English speaker because I was a teacher. But when I
Oh,
came,
you thought you were a good English speaker.
yes,
Okay.
I thought I was a very good English speaker. And then somebody will ask me, "What's that? What did you say?" And I had already communicated. So my accent, number
Hmm.
one.
Yeah.
So it had an issue with the Canadians, those who were in Canada here. Uh, and again, Canadians generally are very good people,
Hmm.
very, very friendly, very welcoming. They can show you, they can leave what they are doing and tell you, okay, are you looking for this? They can really assist you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So apart from such, that's the number one, but it's not, it wasn't so. And then the language, as I've said, the English language and the words they were using. So, in my culture, swearing is not so common. So
Hmm.
here it was like
Swearing, it's used like a conjunction. Some of these words are used like conjunction.
yes,
I, I mean, a boy swearing before his parents and parents
yes,
swearing before the kids. It's
yeah,
normal.
it's normal. It's normal. So that one really shocked me. What are they saying?
Uh,
Anyway, I got
mm,
used and I
mm.
got past that.
Like
Gen-
the first time,
Mhm.
in Kenya, when somebody says stupid, that's an abuse. And I meet this girl, she's talking to her dad, and she's saying, "Dad, you don't be stupid." Like you
yes.
you abuse your dad. But those are some of the language differences in language that
Mhm.
at times
Yeah,
they can be a shock.
exactly.
Yeah.
Number two, again, it was about the food, the kind of food.
Mm,
Here I was being given hamburgers.
mm.
Uh,
And you couldn't find ugali
I couldn't
to
find.
strangle it before you eat.
Yes,
Uh,
before so that the kind of food I found here,
mhm,
even when I was trying to sip some coffee,
mm,
it was having a totally different taste.
mm,
My taste was not the taste of the coffee I was having.
mhm.
So it took me so long to get
Mm.
used to drinking
The
that coffee. So
foods
the food,
and the foods in general.
yes, the
Okay.
foods in general, it
Mm,
was really different
mm.
from the food I used to eat back home.
But now tell me, Kefa,
Hmm.
you're my friend, and I know you eat the way you used to eat back at home. How did you get to find the secrets of where the African food is, so that now you like? By the way, viewers, most of the foods all from all over the world, when you get to know Canada, you'll find that any food from any part of the world is here. And Keva is going to tell us how he got to know that he could cook his ugali, he could boil his yams, and he could what? He could make his the the porridge that is made from millet,
From
the one
millet,
that Canadian kids call chocolate drink. Okay, tell us how
chocolate.
you came to know where these things are, and you got back to your original
Yes,
diet that you used to enjoy in Kenya.
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, um, with food. It was quite easy to find after I had such a rude shock of the kind of food I found here. So I used to go to church. You go to church and you meet people there.
Yeah.
And these people, some of them had stayed here, had come here maybe 5 years earlier or 10 years earlier than you. So when I go to church, we get to know each other. Then I ask them, or they explain to me, okay, if you want to buy unga, we call it unga, flour, maize flour, or corn flour, the way it's called here in Canada, corn flour. So they can tell you where to go. So those are my people, the people who told me exactly where to go and buy to get the African food. And as you mentioned, there is a variety. Whatever is found back home is also found here. It's only that a newcomer, person who is so new, it will be a little bit of a challenge at first. But with the time, when you interact with people, the people have been there before, they will lead you. There are so many uh, stores that sell that kind of food. So that's how I got
Okay.
to know about
Yeah.
those joints or
Okay.
those
So,
places.
viewers, as our host has explained, one thing that is very important is social network. Without social network, it will become relatively difficult for you to adjust and to know where you're supposed to get what. So, if you are speculating or you are contemplating of coming to Canada, very important, try to build your social network, maybe through church or community associations, and that way you will get to know easily what is where. Even though we have settlement centers that can try to guide you, social network is very, very
Important.
integral.
Yeah.
Do not assume that. So, Kefa, you are here in Canada. You are anticipating your family to come. Can you tell us briefly how you prepared for your family to come, and even maybe before that,
Mhm.
how did you manage to sustain your family when they are in Kenya and you are here?
Yes, thanks for that again. And viewers, it is a little bit challenging when your family is back home and you are here. But when you are focused, a new person who has come and things have changed for him, and you have called Canada your home, you have to remain focused. So I had to really work hard for my family. I was working a little bit when I had the work permit before I got the
The
permanent
permanent
resident, the PR.
residency.
So I started working, and then I could send some little money, whatever I had to for my kids to go to school. And
Some little money that landed in Kenya with a big bang. You send
yes,
$1, and then all of a sudden, midway, it explodes and become lots of money before it lands in Kenya. Yeah.
exactly,
Okay. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And again, so I used to support them, but I used to know again at the same time that this my family will join me.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, I used to save a little bit. I send some little money, some little of it I save.
Mm-hmm.
Saving is very, very important because you have to be focused instead of coming to start fundraising. Oh, my family is coming, and you have been. So I made sure that time there was what we call boom. So there are
There's
so
job.
many
There's a
jobs,
lot of work.
a
Yeah.
lot of jobs all
Mm.
over. So you can work anywhere, and you work however long you want to work there, maybe 8 hours full time. You can be employed, and then you are assured of getting some money for the family and for yourself. So I prepared for them. Uh, the ticket was really expensive, but I got help, of course, from my brother-in-law
Mm.
who lives in the US and myself. So it is very, very difficult for to raise that money, a lot of money for the tickets for the
Mm.
family to come
For a clan.
for a clan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, Kenya average family, it's
Mhm.
four kids when you are not having a big family. So it means a lot of money to move your family here. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So
Mm.
that's how I managed because
Yeah.
of the help from my brother-in-law and whatever I'd saved. And then you have to prepare, because if you are new in Canada, you have to really get prepared. Okay. So what happened, I had to move from that apartment house, 1 bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
to a 3 4 bedroom apartment. And by so doing, that was 1 year before they came.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting
Furniture
furniture,
and
exactly,
yeah.
beddings,
Mm-hmm.
utensils,
Yeah.
because I was single by that previously.
Mm.
Now I had to prepare for them
For the family
for the
to come.
family.
Yeah.
So I had to get the furniture, to get the beds, everything. So it was a challenge anyway, but
Mm.
we managed somehow.
Mm.
Yeah. So when they came, actually, they landed at a place where they can sleep.
Mm.
It's not the way I
A
came
certain
in.
level of comfort,
Exactly,
okay,
certain level
which
of
is
comfort.
recommended by the government.
Correct. It's
Okay.
not the way I came and slept in the shelter. For them, at least they landed softly. It's a
Mm.
soft
Mm.
landing, as I
Mm.
can say.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, you've said when you were here you were working, and I know back at home you were a teacher.
Yes.
When you came here, it was a shocker. You just found you're out of place. You have to stay in Canada and all that.
Mhm.
What? How did you adjust to your new job, all job ethics? How, in Kenya, when we are talking about job,
Mhm.
it's something that probably you are employed, and then for the rest of your life you wait for retirement. But
Yeah.
we have shared this quite a number of times. You have changed jobs,
Yes.
and when we are talking of job here, what you are calling job here, probably you could not call it job back in Kenya. You could
Mhm.
say, I'm looking for a job when you are actually working. So how did you transition, let's say mentally, from your
Yeah.
job, the factory setting of job in Kenya, to the setting of, I mean, what job means here in Canada? How did
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
navigate yourself so that you
Okay.
could fit in?
Yes. Thank you. So here in Canada, a job is a job.
Hmm.
You can't. Okay. I was expecting to come, and maybe when I was given permanent residence, I expected maybe I can get my teaching job and I continued my teaching. But then I said, wait a minute, um, teaching is not really forthcoming, because there are some processes you have to go through. You have to maybe go in for maybe 2 years in service courses and all that before you can be given certification. So I said, okay, I can change my my career. So I started looking for a job, and at that time I worked in various places. I worked at a convenience store,
Hmm.
at the gas station. For the viewers, maybe some of them had known me and they know where I started from. They used to come there to
And
say hi.
and for the viewers from the Kenya or British background, gas station is petrol station. So continue.
Yes, correct. It's a petrol station. We call it a gas station with a convenience store inside. So I really liked that kind of business when I came. And for information, I got some training as a manager. They trained me very well to own my own store.
Mm.
As days went by, and as I worked there, getting used, I knew everything. I knew how to handle the computers there, how to bring in new items, remove old items, and all that. So what happened was there was a requirement to own one. That was the main reason that I didn't really own one. So I was almost getting one. They offered me a store, but they needed a lot of down payment,
Mm.
some money. It's not that you are just given a store like that. You need to
Mm.
put down money first. Yeah.
So
So
saving is very crucial in
save
this economy.
exactly. You
Mm.
have to must have some capital,
Mm.
some savings, so that you can start what you want to start. Otherwise, you cannot just jump in. and they say, I want to start a certain company here, and you don't have cash.
mm,
So I wanted to do that, but I couldn't manage that because of capital. I didn't have capital to start. Then I managed to, I had a short stint as a teacher somewhere out of the city. But then again, it didn't work. It was way like 6 hours drive out of the city. And then I said, oh boy, I'm getting away from my family. My family came to be together with me, but now how can I stay here in the middle of nowhere? And my family, who came from Kenya to stay with me, they cannot stay with me. I'm running away from them. So I had to leave that job and came back to stay with my family in the city. Yeah, so that is how
mm,
I transitioned some jobs, and then I don't know, I managed to get out of the convenience store business, not to work as a teacher again, and then I started as a moving business.
mm,
That is where I came in, and that's
mm.
where I met Jeremiah. He used to come, he used to call
Second
me.
time.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah, he used to call me that, oh, there is some job here. Are you coming? He had a truck, by the way. That time I was like, you have a truck? Okay. Then he was not so serious about it, about moving, by the way. How he started also, we used to meet after work.
a side gig.
A side gig, correct. After work, then he can call me, okay, there is somebody here. We have to deliver some things. Are you available? Like 6 in the evening, after work. So I say, okay, yeah, I'm here. Let's go.
Mm,
So we started like that until probably right now we are here.
okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Kefa, for to let the audience know more, you've talked of I changed from this job to this job, from this job to this job, from this job to this job.
Yes.
How do you relate that frequent change with what is possible in the Kenyan economy, which is the same in most developing countries? How
Mm.
easy is it to change from one job to another in this economy as compared to where you come from?
Yes. Thank you. This economy is a developed economy. This compared to motherland Kenya economy, the Canadian economy or the American economy. These are developed countries. So as I said earlier, you can't come here with that mental mind or a set mind that you are going to work as a teacher or
Or
as
a
a
doctor?
doctor because you are a doctor back home. No, here you can work anywhere. You can do anything and you are paid substantially. The amount of money is not like back home that, oh, this one is working at a gas station, so he doesn't earn much. No, here, anybody, you can be working, you can be somewhere with a doctor and you don't realize there's a doctor with you.
In other words, you can be working in the same place, a convenience store or restaurant, with a doctor,
Yes,
part time or full time, but nobody's bragging about.
about what he is, that
Yeah,
I'm a doctor there, I am a
mm,
teacher outside there. No,
it's money.
it's the money. It's the
Yeah.
money that matters, that
Mm.
you are paid and you are paid genuine payment, not that you are doing some dealings elsewhere. No, and you pay taxes. That's what the Canadian government wants.
And there is a minimum wage that is set and it's respected. And there
Exactly.
are also industry standards, like maybe if you're in a convenience store, the salary range is between this and that. If
Yes,
you're in a warehouse and maybe in Alberta as opposed to Toronto, this is the salary range.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's supply and demand, and
mhm,
also blended with government regulation. Not like somebody says, "Okay, this is what you deserve. This is what I give you."
correct.
Mm.
Nobody can decide for that. It's the government regulated. That is the pay or the amount of money you are paid. We have the minimum as you indicated. You cannot be. I can't use. I don't. Somebody will not underpay you. The same job, whether you are a lady or a man, you are paid equally. You are doing the same job. So transitioning from one job to another was okay. It's not a big deal. You can leave this job. It's not back home. There is that tendency of somebody being employed in a government office, and if you happen to leave that job, you can't get another job elsewhere because of the kind of economy we have over there.
Mm.
But for here, this country, you can work hard, change a job, do something else. It's not that you can start your own company, you can do whatever, so long as you are abiding by the rules. That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bona Kefa.
Thank
Now
you.
let's come to something that you said to the audience, and I think you're putting me on spot. You said at some point I introduced you to moving. Um, and you said you used to come. Actually, that is what was the case. You learned a few skills here and there, and then finally you are thinking of starting your own company.
Mm.
Now, comparing working in a job and getting into your own business, because that is where you are eyeing now.
Yes.
What what could you say? What are the pros and the cons of working in a job where you're paid a salary
Mhm.
and you're paid by check, and working in a business where you're the one who determines what achievements, how big you can grow? How do you compare those two?
Yes, those two, uh, by comparison, is that um, in a formal establishment where you are working, like you are employed by a company, by somebody, the salary is determined. If he pays you $20 an hour or whatever, $16, that is how much he will be paying you. You cannot negotiate that, okay, now pay me today. I've stayed for long now. You have to add like $18 or $20. It can take forever before he adds $1 or something. So by comparison, if you do your own business, the way I've learned from you, the way I saw you,
Mm,
uh, you have also, it's like you are an employer as well. Your own business, you are actually like an employer in that you determine the rates, what the customers will be paying you if you are going to move somebody, and then you determine what you are paying the person who's helping you, or those people who are, as now when I was helping you, when I help you, you determine how much you pay me, and I have to go by that. It's like being employed elsewhere. So when you are doing your own business, that's the advantage. And also, you are flexible with your own business. You can schedule your moves or your customers the way you want. If you want, maybe today is Saturday, like most people go to church,
mm,
uh, you you can tell your customers, no, I don't
mhm,
work on Saturdays,
mm.
but we can
Work
schedule
on
for
Sunday or
Sunday or
Fridays.
Friday or
Mhm.
Monday.
Yeah.
So usually, but in a different workplace, they might not tolerate that. If they work on Saturdays, they will tell you you have to be here on a Saturday, or else they will now be facing you out because you don't come regularly, like any other people who come on Saturday or whatever day. So what I'm trying to say is when you are doing moving or your own business, you are flexible. Flexibility is really, really there. You can do what you want,
Mm,
so long as your customers, you know what your customers want, and you know when you have to schedule with them. But you have to be really, really be disciplined. Mm? When you tell a customer you will be there maybe on Monday at this time, you have to be there
mhm.
because some of them they book the elevators, they want to move out by a certain time. You don't have to be late.
Yeah.
So discipline is also very, very important there.
Mm, mhm.
Otherwise, the most important thing is flexibility, as I have insisted there,
Okay. So,
has
viewers,
to
you've heard
emphasize.
it. This is my student in moving from a high school teacher in Kenya to several things in between here. Now he is determined to start his own moving company after learning quite a lot from me. I don't want to boast a lot. I feel tempted to boast about myself, but that one I'm not going to do. So Kefa is planning to start his own moving company. He has worked with me for quite a long time, and customer feedback is very good, and that is why he has decided, like, okay, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, let me go full time. So for this time I could want to give Kefa a chance to say, to give us his contacts, how the customers can meet him once he's already bought a truck and is all set to go. It can be anytime, tomorrow, next week, but he's all set. And the good thing is, here in Canada, the government is very supportive of entrepreneurship, small business. So trust me, if Kevin wants to register his business on Monday, if he goes at 8 in the morning, by 9 his business will be registered and he'll be ready to go with a trade name, everything. He'll be all set to go. So Kefa, hey, start it Monday.
Yeah.
Get your business running. So give the audience your contact
Yep.
and say briefly about your business philosophy. What makes customers like your services? The kind of good reviews that we are getting from out there. By the way, he's now going to be my competitor soon, but I'll let him talk about his intentions in business and how you can contact him. So, Kefa, go ahead.
Okay, viewers, thank you for listening to what I've been saying along, and we really appreciate you that you are listening to what we are talking about. So, uh, if I may start with my contacts, if you really want to reach me, and I will really appreciate that. Those of you who would like to do business with me, you can contact me at 780 719 8404. 780 719 8404, and my name is Kefa. So wherever you can text me, call me before I start putting things in place. Anyway, like my email, I could give it to you later, but I will do that as I register my business. So I would really appreciate if you call me, and then from there we can move together. And as I do business, I'm always very careful with the customers' things. I respect the customers' things when we're handling customers.
You don't hide the chair when it's broken.
No, no, I've heard that one from elsewhere, that some movers, they break things and they hide from the customer. They don't tell the customer. We're always very open. Wherever you engage me, try me, and you will realize that you got the right person, the right mover who will be doing business for you. So please text me, call me, and we shall move from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Kefa. As we wind up, Kefa, one of our best reviewed team member, and he has worked with us for a long time. And until he told me, okay, now Moseti, I think I should I should start on my own. Uh, as we have said, this is a developed economy. Opportunities are there. You don't fight over market. In fact, one thing that I've learned that I never used to know, money is infinite. What you get depends on the energy that you put. It's not like money is scarce. No. That is why I'm very comfortable with Keva getting into the moving industry, even though we are in the same business. I don't get scared like he's going to take away my customers. No. We know there's a lot of opportunity out there, and we we are more concerned with offering service. If your service are good, you'll always get your customers. So as we wind up, Kefa is moving to start on his own, but you might be asking, where is Kefa moving from? He's moving from Emergency Movers, which is a moving business that is based in Edmonton, serving most of Alberta and Western Canada. And with our collaborating partners, we can do moving to any part of the world. We are connected with moving companies that do international moving. So if you want to do a move across the street or across the city, across the province, across Canada, or across the seas, contact Emergency Movers. Our booking line is 780-716-6501. We are going to put our link and our contact somewhere here on the screen. Beside that, we're going to put the contacts of Kefa and his upcoming moving company. It will be Moving Company XX, but with time, maybe we'll correct that to say maybe Kefa Moving Company. So with that, I think we are coming to the end of this show. Thank you for staying with us. And as we are going to wind up, we want to ask you, our customers, this is our second episode. We want to strike 100 subscribers this month. So please proceed and subscribe. Share this particular video with your friends and spread the word, because we want to bring you these inspiring stories of how people have come to Canada, they've made it their home, and they have integrated into the Canadian society, and they are helping to build this great country that is known as Canada. A beautiful place, by the way. So as we finish, Kefa, what final advice could you give people,
Thank
our
you.
viewers who want
Yes, viewers, my final word, those of you who have not come to Canada or those who are already in Canada, welcome to Canada. Canada is a very peaceful country. And if you are intending to relocate to Canada or you are already here in Canada, there are so many opportunities out there. Don't just sleep and cry that, oh, I don't have a job, I don't have this. There are so many opportunities out there for you, waiting for you. Just get out of the house, get out of the couch, and look for something. Canada is a land of honey and milk, as they say. Yeah? So that's my word. That's my advice. Be free and ask some of us who are already here what you want to do. We can give you some piece of advice, whatever we know. But again, be free and enjoy your stay in Canada. Thank you so much, viewers.
Thank you, Buana Kefa. So, viewers, thank you for staying with us for this episode. We are talking about everything Canadian, everything immigrant, chronicles of the immigrants. Welcome to the next show and join us so that you can know how people have persevered, how they have taken a leap of hope, how they have endured until they have made Canada their home, and they are contributing positively to this particular land that I promise you is a very nice country. As long as you are not a potato couch, you have to stand up and claim what is yours. You have to contribute to the Canadian economy. So until we meet next time, cheers, and remember to share and subscribe, and have a good day, a good night, a good evening, wherever it is, until we meet in our next episode. So, Kefa, thank you
Thank you.
for coming.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for sharing your story.
Thank you.
It's been very inspiring.
I appreciate.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.